A very good morning to all of you class 12th students. I welcome all of you in the new session of class 12, and it's very unfortunate that we are going to start our class in this way, but we will have to adjust with the situation. So today we will going to start the first chapter, Reproduction in Organisms. And here the first definition that arises, that what is lifespan. So lifespan is the period in the organism from birth to the natural death. Period from birth to natural death of an organism is known as its lifespan. You can click the screenshot of the video where you want to write it. Then the next question arises, that what is reproduction. So it's a biological process in which an organism gives birth to young ones similar to itself. Then why it is important? It is important for continuity of species, and the topic of reproduction is not new for us. We have already studied this chapter in class 12th also. So we know that there are two types of reproduction, asexual and sexual. And the common differences that we know that we discuss is, in asexual reproduction, single parent is required, whereas in sexual, two parents of opposite sex are required. In asexual reproduction, somatic cells, that is body cells, are required, whereas in sexual, germ cells required that contains male and female gamete. So in asexual reproduction, since somatic cells are involved, so they are known as clones, as they are the identical exact copies of the parents, whereas in sexual reproduction, variation occurs due to fusion of male and female gametes. Example of asexual reproduction are single-celled organisms, lower plants and animals, whereas in sexual organisms, higher plants and animals, sexual reproduction takes place. Now the question, and this is of question of 1 marks, which usually used to come in the exam, that why the offsprings of asexual reproduction known as clones. They are known as clones because they are morphologically and genetically identical to their parents, exact photocopies of their parents. Then we will discuss about asexual reproduction in detail, and there are different modes of asexual reproduction or asexual reproductive structure. So first one is binary fission. We are well known with binary fission. It occurs in amoeba, paramecium, bacteria, etc. in single-celled organism, where parent cell divides into two equal halves, and each half develops into an adult. Here we can add leishmania also, that causes kala azar. We have studied in class 12. Then next one is budding. Budding occurs in yeast hydra. Here division is unequal. So basic difference between binary fission and budding is, in binary fission the division is equal, whereas in budding the division is unequal, and small buds are produced that remains attached initially by parents, but later get separated and mature into a new organism. So after getting sufficient nutrients from the parent's body, they get separated and mature themselves separately in budding. Now here I have made a table of organisms and asexual reproductive structure. This is important. 1 marks question used to come in the board examination from this topic. So first organism is Chlamydomonas, and the asexual reproductive structure is zoospore. Then in Penicillium, the asexual reproductive structure is Conidia. In Hydra yeast we have already studied buds. Then in sponge it is gemmules. So 1 marks question used to come from this topic. Now next topic is vegetative propagation. in class 10th also we have studied that it is also considered as type of asexual reproduction, because single parent is required here, and due to single parent they are morphologically and genetically similar. So vegetative propagation is also is also considered as the asexual reproduction. Then different type of angiosperms and vegetative propagules. Here also it is of important. The question comes, 1 marks question comes in the board examination from this topic. Like in potato, the vegetative propagule from where vegetative propagation occurs is eye. Then in ginger, banana, it is rhizome. In agave, it is bulbil. In 2006, 1 marks question came from this topic, like in agave, what is the name of vegetative propagule? In bryophyllum, it is leaf buds. In water hyacinth, it is offset. In the next topic, in the next video, we will discuss about the water hyacinth, why it is known as terror of Bengal. Thank you.